We are days away from the biggest football tournament on the planet, 48 teams, 104 games, and somewhere in that chaos, one player is going to terrorize every single opponent they face. Now, I could give you the safe answer. I could say Mbappe, I could say Yamal, I could even say Messi one last time for old time's sake, but that is not what we are doing today. Today, we are making a case, a proper, backed by numbers, impossible to ignore case for the one player that every defender at this World Cup should be absolutely terrified of, Erling Haaland. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly why. Before you click off, yes, I know what you are thinking. Haaland has never played at a World Cup. Norway have not been at a World Cup since 1998. He has zero major tournament experience. I hear you, but here is the thing about that argument. It cuts both ways. Every great player had a first major tournament. Mbappe was 19 years old when he lit up Russia 2018 and won the whole thing. Ronaldo was raw and unknown before Euro 2004. The first time is not a curse. Sometimes it is the spark. And Haaland is not walking into this tournament as an unknown teenager hoping to catch someone off guard. He is 25 years old. He is the best striker on the planet, and he has been waiting for this moment his entire career. That is not nerves waiting to happen. That is a ticking time bomb. Let us talk about what Haaland did just to get Norway to this tournament, because these numbers are genuinely ridiculous. In qualifying, Haaland scored 16 goals. 16 in qualifying. The next best player in all of European qualifying had 8. Haaland had double that. He did not just top the scoring charts, he lapped them. For Norway as a nation, he now has 55 goals in just 49 international appearances. He is by a distance the greatest goalscorer his country has ever produced. And at 25 years old, he has barely even hit his peak yet. Now think about what those numbers mean at a World Cup. In qualifying, Haaland was doing this against decent but not elite opposition. In North America, he will be doing it against the best defenders in the world, on the biggest stage in the world, with every camera on the planet pointed directly at him. Some players shrink in that moment. Everything we know about Erling Haaland tells us he does the exact opposite. This is the part that really makes Haaland different. It is not just the goals, it is the mentality. This is a player who has won the Premier League, won the Champions League, won the treble with Manchester City. He has played in the biggest matches in club football and delivered in almost every single one of them. Pressure does not affect Erling Haaland. If anything, he needs it. He feeds off it. When the stage gets bigger, when the crowd gets louder, when the stakes get higher, that is when Haaland tends to produce his very best football. And consider this. He was born in Leeds, England. He could have played for England. Instead, he chose Norway, a nation that had not qualified for a World Cup in 28 years. And he personally dragged them to this tournament almost on his own. This is a player who desperately and deeply wants to prove himself on this stage. And that kind of hunger is one of the most dangerous things in football. But here is the thing about Haaland going into this World Cup. This has not been his most dominant club season. Manchester City had a difficult year. The team struggled for consistency. And even Haaland, by his own extraordinary standards, had moments where things did not click the way we are used to seeing. He still scored goals. He always scores goals. But the Premier League title, the Champions League glory, all of the trophies that have defined his career at City, they did not come this time around. And you know what that does to a player like Erling Haaland? It makes him angry. It makes him hungry. It makes him desperate to remind the entire world exactly who he is. This World Cup is not just another tournament for him, it is a statement. A chance to step out from the shadow of a difficult club season and stand alone on the biggest stage in football as the most unstoppable striker on the planet. The last time the world saw Haaland at his very best, defenders could not sleep at night. Imagine what a point to prove does to that. Now let us talk about what facing Haaland actually means for the teams in his way. Norway are in Group I alongside France, Senegal and Iraq. France are one of the favorites to win the whole tournament. Senegal are the African champions. On paper, Norway have a tough route out of the group, but ask yourself this. If you are a France defender and you know you are lining up against Erling Haaland in 3 days' time, are you sleeping well? Because the unique thing about Haaland is that he does not just score goals. He occupies defenders mentally before the game even starts. Teams have to change how they set up specifically because of him. They have to assign extra resources to stopping one man. And when you do that, you leave gaps everywhere else. Odegaard behind him, Nusa on the wing. If defenders are terrified of Haaland, those players will have more space than they know what to do with. Norway are genuinely dangerous as a team, and Haaland is the reason why. Now, I'm going to be fair here because any good argument acknowledges the counterpoint. The one thing that could stop Haaland from having the tournament of his life is the group itself. Norway face France and Senegal, two of the best organized and most defensively solid teams at the tournament. Getting out of the group is not a formality. If Norway crash out in the group stage, the Holland story ends before it really starts. But that is the gamble. That is the storyline. Because if Norway do get through, if Holland steps out into the round of 32, the quarterfinals, the semifinals, the tournament has a leading man. And that leading man is absolutely terrifying. So here is where we land. The most dangerous player at the 2026 World Cup is Erling Haaland. Not because he is necessarily the most talented player there, you can make a case for Mbappe or Yamal on pure ability. But dangerous is different. Dangerous is a player on a mission. Dangerous is a player with a point to prove. Dangerous is a player who has waited his entire career for this moment and has the numbers, the mentality, and the support around him to absolutely explode on the biggest stage in football. Every defender at this tournament knows who he is. Every team has prepared for him and he is going to score anyway. That is what makes Erling Haaland the most dangerous player at the 2026 World Cup. Now, do you agree? Is Haaland the most dangerous player at this tournament, or have we completely lost the plot? Maybe you think Mbappe is the obvious answer. Maybe you are backing Yamal. Maybe you think there is a dark horse name we have not even mentioned yet. Drop your pick in the comments right now. We genuinely want to know who you think is going to be the most dangerous player at the 2026 World Cup. If you enjoyed this one, subscribe. We have got a lot more World Cup content coming throughout the tournament. From everyone here at the 6 Yard Line, see you in the next one.